Tennessee at Houston. Houston's a 3.5 point favorite. Look, CJ Stroud is expected to be back. Ryan Tannehill was truly awful. Awful. Uh, um,
Yeah.
this past week, right?
Their O-line is bad, man.
Yeah, they're
Tennessee,
really terrible. I
they're
remember
really bad.
earlier in the year we talked about, I did a favorites YouTube film room exclusive on how bad their offensive line was because I thought somebody was going to kill him. Like he just
Yeah.
gets pummeled, and that happened again this past week. Part of it is him, right? Like he's not as mobile as he used to be. He's not
Yeah, he's
making good
old.
decisions. Like he should have gotten rid of the ball. Like at the end of the game, they had chances to get down there and tie it. Um, I know we bake on Vrabel, but this is not a good spot for him or his team. A defense that could not stop Geno in the fourth quarter completely blew this game. Here's the reason why we do back Vrabel. Home faves in the division since 2015, 45%. Last 5 years, 43%. Got a lot of home faves. We got 5 home favorites in the division this week. This game is one of them.
Yeah, I honestly, as much as I want to be on the Titans,
I don't want to be on
my
the
issue
Titans.
is that they've had back-to-back weeks of just giving it all, and they lost back-to-back games by three
Yeah.
points. It's like, when does not that they're going to give up, but it's like, what do they have left? Like they've given it all 2 weeks in a row, and they've just been dominated, and they're facing a team here that's getting their hero back. Like they're getting CJ back. The fear is what damage has happened to CJ in the sense of it's weird when you miss a couple games, especially when you have a head injury and you kind of don't feel the same. You've lost your rhythm a little bit and you're coming back into it. So um, I want to be all over this number, just a little hesitant to it. Want to read more from beat writers and see how CJ looks in practice and things like that. But just a little hesitant just because it is an injury to his head and he's coming back from it. An injury that took over 2 weeks. He missed 2 games because of it. Like that's really serious compared to, most times they force these guys in, especially the quarterbacks, right?
Yeah, right.
Unless it's really serious, they're going to sit him out. So that's the fear here is that should it be an injury that he probably should just sit out the rest of the season? Yes, it could be, but he's not because they're trying to meet in the playoffs. Like that's a huge deal, especially for a young team like this to make it into the playoffs and build off of that going into next year. So can't fault them for getting him back in there. Can't fault him for getting his own way back in there. And I just don't know if I trust the number because of all those surrounding issues right now, Chad.
I agree with you. I just don't think, in years past, something feels off about Vrabel in the second half of the year. Like, I don't know if the talk about is this the end of the reign for Derrick Henry? Is this team transitioning? Is he not a buyer on Will Levis? Is he thinking about the Patriots job? Who knows? But there's something that feels sort of different about the way this team is playing as we get into the latter half of this year. So I'm less confident about sort of our Mike Vrabel podcast positions than I think I was even earlier in the year when these seemed like they were locks. Even though he did it this past weekend, right?